What's up? Could you guys see me? I'm back. I can do live calls today. I'm so excited. I'm not just talking to myself like a freak. I'll be talking to people today. Happy Friday. You guys surviving the apocalypse. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you are here. Say something. Say hello. Say I don't like you. Your channel sucks. Something. I don't care. Just say something. I'm trying to get everything in order. Get those likes up. Get those likes up. Happy pre-Valentine's Day. Thank you. I'm supposed to have a special. I need to, on Valentine's Day, I have a friend that's a dating coach, and we're going to come on and talk about the truther side of love on Sunday. So I just need to reconfirm and see if she's down, but I think she is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a live show. It's going to be call-in, too, and we're going to do some truther love convos. So, hey Terrell, hey Hip Hop Radar, Paralysis by Knowledges, hey Marcella L, Kitty Glitter. I was gonna say Kitty Grifter. Hey Cerebral. So, what's up? I'll just wait a few more minutes before I do my what's up from upstate. It must be cold up there, man. It's cold here. I literally have a tree outside my window, and there are icicles forming on it. It's deciduous, and there's icicles forming on the tree. Dating tip for men have money. That's what shallow men think. That's, like shallow men think that women only want money because they go after shallow women. We'll probably talk about that on Sunday. And I've had men approach me, and they think just because they have money that I would want them, but there are plenty of women that are like that, but it's because they're shallow. So, if you're comfortable being in a relationship, if you are a guy that has a pretty woman by their side, but you know that woman wants you for money, I mean, go for it if that's what you want, but be honest about it, So, my friend set me up with this really rich guy, and I fucking hated him. I hated him. I probably would ended up choking him in his sleep. He was so controlling. He was cute too, but I mean, he was just very controlling, and I don't like to be controlled. So it's not worth it for me to be with a guy that's rich if they're going to be controlling. Now, it is nice to have money because you have some of your problems taken care of. Like, I'd rather, knock on wood, I'd rather have like cancer with money than without money. You know what I mean? Like, if you had bad shit happen to you, it's always easy for you to have money. But then if you also have men that are dependent on money, but they're not resourceful, like they can't build shit, like to me, especially with the times that are coming, I don't want a dude that's just like, you have people that are so engrossed in making money. If they lost their money, they'd probably kill themselves, And there are women that would be with men, and if the men lost their money, they'd leave them because they're not rich anymore, and they were with them for that. But I mean, a lot of men that say that, it get on my nerves because it's like, but you also don't want a man that's gonna like be leeching off of you either. But then men, you don't want a woman that's gonna be leeching off you either. You want a woman that's that's not just. I mean, you can if you want, but I mean, you have to know what you're getting into. So I don't know. That just annoys me when men are like, "Oh, women want is money." I mean, yeah, some women, but all men want is a hot chick. I see a lot of guys that just go for girls, especially being from LA. I see a lot of men that go, for women that are like, fake titties and just fake and fake hair, and as long as they look like a Barbie doll, and they're hot and they're thin, that's all they need. I mean, it goes both ways, right? You need a country boy. I like country boys. I do. But I like cute country boys, not gross country boys. You know, if you date both poor and wealthy, you'll soon realize that regardless of income class, you enter into relationships with people that reflect where. Exactly. Very good, Kitty Glitter. Very well put. I should read it. I kind of skimmed through it. Kitty Glitter says, if you date both poor and wealthy, you'll soon realize that regardless of income class, you enter into relationships with people that reflect where you're at. Exactly. Exactly. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So. Yeah, I've literally had a guy come up to me and was like, hi. And I was like, hi. He's like, I'm a doctor. I'm like, okay. But, I mean, there are a lot of women that would be like, oh my God, you're a doctor. They just fall all over him and just fuck him and take their clothes off. And, you know, and he's probably used to that. And that's, I feel, a reason why a lot of people get into the medical profession, not just to help people, but because they want that power. They want to just be like, throw their credentials at people and get whatever they want, whether it's respect or whether it's, you know, like all the pussy you can eat. So I just, this ain't no kid show for you guys that are just turning in. It's about to get rough. It was already gotten rough. Hydro kids. I should have like an R rating at the beginning of the show. But I mean, but you know, I mean, I wasn't like that. I wasn't like, oh, doctor. You know. So, yeah, I know, like. The women that are like that. And it probably worked for him a lot of the time. So that's what he did. But I was just like, all right. Like, I didn't even care. Like, I mean, that's just a turn off within itself. Because it's like, okay, you could be a doctor. You could be a cool doctor. I've met some cool doctors. I don't hate all doctors. But I don't like doctors that use their credentials as, you know, fucking collateral. I don't know if collateral is the right word. But, you know, I mean, why? They're women. They're guys that are like that. Lawyers. I'm a lawyer. And they're like, oh my God, I want you. That, you know, but that's how society works. But guys, please don't like act like it's one-sided, that women are just shallow. And I had a neighbor that, he ended up getting my nerves at first because he was stealing my cable. It was a funny story. He was stealing my cable, and I was having cable issues, and then the cable people, they're like, yeah, your neighbor's stealing your cable. And I was like, what? And I fucking hated it. But for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but we ended up becoming friends. And I was like, you can steal my cable. I wasn't attracted to him. There was no attraction. We just ended up becoming friends. But he would date all of these. He was all about materialism. He was all about having a nice car. He was always about, like, expensive clothes and jewelry and all that stuff. And yet, he would date all of these really shallow women that were all about, you know, they were materialistic in the way that they looked. And, you know, it was all about that. And he was just kind of puzzled that I wasn't like that. He's like, I don't understand. I was like, yeah, because I'm not, like... You know, but that's what he attracted. It was like, and he was constantly unhappy, constantly dating bitches that were, and I'm saying bitches not because they're women, but because they were bitches. They were just mean. They were always, I would hear them, because it was an apartment, and I would hear them arguing with him over stupid shit, you know, like, all the time, and he was constantly miserable. But yet, he was always going after really shallow women, because he was shallow. He was a nice guy, but he was really shallow. I mean, that was what he wanted, so that's what was what he got. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there was no way I would be into him if he was stealing my cable. But he ended up being like, we ended up bonding on other issues, and he ended up making it up in some of the nice things that he did for me in return. So, like, you know, just helping me with car stuff and other things, you know, offering. He was so. I mean, it was all right, I guess. It was all right. Yeah, he ended up being, he just, you know. But yeah, I mean, I would never get with him, especially, you know, him stealing my cable. I mean, you know, no romantic. Hi, I'm a doctor. Yeah, I swear. He literally said that. I was just like, is this dude for real? Is this dude for real? They're like I said, they're women that fall for that. So I understand why he would do something like that. Just unfortunately for him, I wasn't one of those women that was gonna fall for that shit. And I really don't like doctors. I really don't like lawyers. I mean, you'd have to be an extraordinary person that just happens to be a doctor or lawyer for me to like you. I don't like lawyers or doctors generally. I think that, you know how I feel. I think allopathic medicine, I mean, maybe if you're like a chiropractor or naturopath or something like that, that's hotter to me than just being an allopathic doctor. But you're killing people. I know, they go to school, but their model is literally killing people. I'm going to talk about that today. Anyway, I'm going to do my promos. So hang on tight. All right, good morning, guys. Please, if you're new to this channel, I know I got some new subscribers that saw me in the war room. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you want to support me, I do have a Cash App and I do have a PayPal, and my channel's been completely demonetized, so everything I'm doing on this channel and anywhere else is completely for free. That's why I'm also trying to get a health coaching license so I can make some money on the side. I don't have enough subscribers to have me doing this full time at the moment for free. So, and I'm not making any money off of social media. Your donations help when you help. I really appreciate it, but honestly, I'm really trying to get more subscribers through Patreon, right? So Patreon is the best for me because it doesn't matter what threshold I make at the end of the month, I still get I get money at the end of the month. Where as Subscribestar, and I appreciate you guys, I'm not ragging on you, but I still haven't seen any of the money from Subscribestar because I have to reach, like, I have to make at least, I think, $100 before they pay me out, and I still haven't made that on Subscribestar. And I do start at a lower tier with Subscribestar, so I have people that are donating $2 a month, which is fine. Like, like I said, I don't want to I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm just letting you guys know, like, what the situation is. But Patreon is, but I made a Subscribestar because I know people don't like Patreon, and Patreon is shady, I get it. So I gave people two options, and they're the same levels. You get perks for each level that you join. So also, please join. Let's move this over a little bit. Please join my email list. Go to TrutherTalk.com. You can join our email list. You can buy some of the awesome gear that we have to sell. We have informational zines for children 14 and up, or people 14 and up, right? If you're a homeschooler, I did 2 vaccines, one on GMOs in your food and one on cannabis. But cannabis, not smoking it, but using it as textiles and concrete in ways that it could actually help the earth and, be sustainable for kids. That would be good for kids to know. I also have a couple cool posters done by Narciso. Artwork is by Narciso Palma. And our famous Conspiracy Realist t-shirt. In the future, I will be creating some more shirts, but right now, that's what we got. Please follow us on Gab. I say us because if you see, it was founded at TrutherTalk. Was actually founded by 2 people, but she's focusing on her family right now. She's being a badass homeschooling mom. And also, please promote our interview, or the interview I did with Del Bigtree. Everything is just being suppressed. It's just like, it's so frustrating. Anyway, follow us on Gab, follow us on, BitChute. I'm like, what is this? Brighteon. I will be uploading more on Steemit, on DTUBE. Listen to our old podcast. We have about 109 episodes that we did on SoundCloud. We interviewed some amazing people, all right? Also, you can purchase my Conspiracy 101 Realism course, 11 hours and 10 modules of the basics of understanding who runs the world, how everything is run, the tactics that they use, and it's really good for, I would say 14 and up. And I use clips. I do lecture. I use clips, and it comes with a little booklet for each module that you can follow along with. So, the booklets are downloadable. Please join my music. It will be active pretty soon, sooner than later. But I have I'm going to re-release my music video soon. and I'm going to be doing an Indiegogo campaign to help fund my EP that I'm working on. I did a little Patriot rap, and I have a few of my other singles. So please join that. I'm trying to get those up as well. And I'm also, this is my music page on Gab. Also, oh, why is that up here? Oh, okay, that's the, maybe that's the backup channel, TrutherTalkReborn. All of these links are in the bottom. So, yeah. All right, so getting to the news I want to talk about today. Twitter permanently suspends Project Veritas group. Okay, this was, where is it, yesterday or they may have been reinstated by now, and they're going back and forth, but I know they're just going to try and take them down. So I would suggest, if you're a fan of Project Veritas, that you start copying, which is what I'm doing. I'm copying all of the really good interviews and all of the really good stings that they have and keeping it for your records, because, you know, Project Veritas is so amazing, and they just, I mean, James O'Keefe has some pretty, I'm going to take this off for a minute. James O'Keefe seems to have some pretty powerful lawyers, and they seem to cover their ass pretty well, and that's probably the reason why they haven't been taken down just yet. But they're coming after them. They're they're already trying to cut them off financially. I saw a video the other day where they were lying and telling some of their donors that they were under investigation, and then the donors are like, "Oh, if they're under investigation for some illegal activity, then we're not going to down." These people, like, you have to remember, they're straight from the depths of hell. So, you know, when an organization that is light, you know, is trying to expose everything, they're going to come after them. So if you could support them, if you can also, you know, go to their page. They need donors, they need exposure, share their videos, send them prayers, you know. They really they really need it. So of course, like, I'm reading, this is from The Hill, and they're like, founded in 2010, Project Veritas is a right-wing group that routinely publishes. It's just not a freaking right-wing group, okay? Like, Jesus Christ. It's like, come on, man. Like, Jesus, I mean, come on. But they're trying to paint them as, like, this racist organization. They're always trying to paint, like, James O'Keefe as, like, this smarmy dude that's just, you know, like a peeping Tom that's peeping around on people, when it's not even like that. I can tell he does it because he has a big heart, because he cares about people, you know. Even during, you know, it was January 6th, during the the Capitol situation, right? And it was like, he took the time out to encourage people, and he made a video. I mean, I took note of that. I remember that he did that. I think he seems like he does this because he cares. You know, they're probably under very stressful situations, very stressful circumstances, probably getting death threats like every 5 minutes, okay? Because they're exposing some really good shit. So they, you know, I mean, what can I say? All right, next one. Children's Health Defense. Thank you to my friend Curtis Koss, who's amazing, who actually, he was one of the organizers for this. But they did a really, really good, it's like a seminar. You can share this with your friends and family. They tried to have it, or they had it live, and within a couple of days, over 40,000 people, almost 50,000 people registered for this. And it basically has doctors and scientists going over these topics about the vaccine. Are they safe and effective? Can you be forced to take one? Who is liable if anything goes wrong? How do I protect my right to choose? Discover what the mainstream media is not telling you. And the speakers are Robert F. Kennedy, Del Bigtree, Thomas Cohen, MD, Mary Holland, who's a lawyer, Christine Northrup, John Gilmore, Michael Caine, who's a reporter, Larry Pawlowski, Sherry Tenpenny, Dave Rasnick, and Kevin Jenkins. So you have all these people that are, that are basically, it's really good information for your friends and family that are maybe on the fence, or they want to hear a doctor tell them, like, one of these people, they can't think for themselves unless a doctor tells them something. So if they need to have a doctor, a scientist tell them not to take the vaccine, then maybe this is for you. All of these are in the links, by the way, in the description section. I already put them in there, so you can share this right away. So they had it, I think it was Wednesday, and now it's up for replay. So just send this link to people. And yeah. All right, next one. Google is burying alternative health sites to protect people from dangerous medical advice. Oh, wow, that's interesting because, it's, isn't the medical errors the third leading cause of death in the U.S.? I would say that it's even higher, but this is according to their own people, all right? This is from John Hopkins, okay? This is from the British Medical Journal. This is from, these two sources are like the top-notch medical journals in the world, and they're saying that medical errors cause the is a leading cause of death. Yet if you say that masks make you sick, which they do, which there's evidence to support that, masks don't work, which they don't, which is evidence to support that, you're spreading medical misinformation, right? And they'll just destroy your life. But they can kill people left and right, and then they can write it in journals, and they can be like, oops, how bad? I guess, I don't know. Like, one of my videos got taken down. I made a video in the beginning, almost a year ago, talking about how medical errors are the third leading cause of death, and technically the medical industry kills more people than coronavirus, which is true, right? It's provable, if you do this thing called math, and count, if you can count, and if you can look at numbers, and you can see that this number is higher than this number over here. But they took my video down. It was like 2 weeks or whatever. I couldn't post for however long because I was spreading medical misinformation. Fuck those people. Anyway, and the kicker, let me see this. Oh, yeah, you guys are going to love this. Have you seen this? I'm going to play this for you. This is today's comedy and tragedy video for today, okay? All right. Let me see. You got the vaccine. Magnificent sent this to you. Thank you, Magnificent. I did not even know. I love it. See, when you're honest about like stuff that you hate, people are you have your friends, they know what you're into, so they'll send you stuff. So they know that, he knows that I hate vaccines, and he's like, look at this shit. And I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm going to talk about it on the show today, because I love to call up bullshit, but I hate to watch bullshit. So this is because they think black people are stupid, and they can only speak to us through rap, because we're not taking the vaccine, right? It's not because we have common sense. It's not because we know about Tuskegee. It's not because we know that in certain African countries they're targeting us and people are dropping dead from other vaccines, not even the corona vaccine. It's not because of that. It's because that they didn't make a rap video about it yet to tell us. So they had to make a rap video so that we get it, right? So I just want to play this rap video, and I want to see how many people resonate with it. Are you getting the language? They're just like, all right. Oh, and by the way, the dislike ratio, the comments are turned off. I wonder why. And so they're like and dislike. You can dislike it. I dislike the hell out that video. But you can't see the ratio. So, yeah, it's funny. Let's see what this song sounds like. I got the vaccine, you got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. It's about community immunity, I'm talking unity for you and me. If Doc says it's good, then trust me, it's good. Now let's all get the vaccine. There is none higher, DMC. I will inspire. Time for us to trust and not debate. The vaccine, believe it's safe to take. 9 out of 10 people won't get sick. That's 90% effective and legit. This COVID thing is real and it will find you. It's killing our people, let me remind you. Back in the days, there was polio, smallpox, back in the days. Measles and mumps, man, back in the days. But because of the vaccines, none of those saved. Vaccines, they work to trigger immunity. 2 shots, we got antibody security. We gotta act now, no need to wait. Get your vaccine before it's too late, for real. I was like, oh, hell no. I'm like, he's not even wearing a mask, okay? No, I think he's not wearing a mask because he got the vaccine. So if you get the vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask. But then, now they're saying it doesn't matter if you get the vaccine, you still have to wear masks. So it's like, what do they want? What do they want? They want our soul. They want us dead. They want us to turn into cyborgs. I don't know. Whatever they want, it's not for the good of our health. So, anyway, yeah, I was extremely amused and livid at the same time after watching that video. And I bet you that dude, whoever that dude is, he probably promotes white supremacy all day, right? So, but to me, this is the most racist thing, right? You have people that these technocratic evil geniuses that are pushing GMOs and malt liquor on the black community and vaccines, and it's actually causing all the problems. And all that video that's medical misinformation. That video should be taken down. It's all fucking lies. Okay, so I left my book over there, but hold on, I'm gonna get it so I can show you guys something. I put some of her lectures up for Vaccine Sucks Saturdays. Her name is Dr. Suzanne Humphreys, and she's done, her and her friend Roman Bistrionic, who's a computer analyst, they wrote this book called Dissolving Illusions, and they made graphs, and they got their information from medical journals. Medical journals have been around, I think, since the 1600s. So, just like the fake news that they have today, they have, it's been going on since, I don't know, publications, right? Before, anyways, I would just say since publications, right? That's how they control the masses. So they didn't have TV, they didn't have radio, but they had publications. And then there's a whole nother level to that, when you compare the people that couldn't read to the people that could read, because the people that couldn't read have to rely on the people that could read to tell them what to do or to think. But back in the day, so I'm bringing this up about the medical journals because back in the day, polio and smallpox, the anti-vaccine movement has been around since the invention of the vaccine, of the Jenner vaccine, okay? And people were dying from smallpox, and there's evidence to show that actually the vaccine was the smallpox vaccine was actually causing smallpox. And they talk about it in this book, and they reference the medical journals. So just like the frontline doctors are telling people about all the inconsistencies in the COVID myths and stuff, the same shit was going down in the 1700s when Jenner invented the vaccine. There were lots of doctors and people in public health that were speaking out against the polio vaccine, and the smallpox vaccine, and they were basically, their reputations were ruined. The mob went after them. It's the same shit. It's the same formula, right? There's a guy named Alfred Russel Wallace who was actually the co-founder of natural selection. And you hear about Darwin, but you don't hear about him. And I think the reason you don't really hear about him, he was actually a strong, what do they call it, anti-vaccinationist. Did you know that, you guys? They were called anti-vaccinationists back in the day. Okay, in the 1700s. Now it's like they're shortening it. I guess it's more hip. We're anti-vaxxers. But the anti-vaccinationists, remember that word, anti-vaccinationists, was basically the guy, Alfred Russel Wallace, basically they were keeping records of people that were vaccinated, and he got the data, and he was able to prove that the actually smallpox vaccine was giving people smallpox in mass. There was a town called Leicester, England, where basically they quarantined people. They got smallpox from the vaccine, but then they realized it was the vaccine that was causing the outbreak, and they quarantined people and they cleaned up their environment, and that's how they got rid of it. And they stopped taking the vaccine, and people were like, "Oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna kill everybody in your town." The mayor or whatever who was in charge, you're like, "Oh, it's terrible." And this is documented. And you can also go back and cross-reference through other records to find that this is true. But this has been buried. Like, nobody knows about this shit. You have to go back and research and read, because now when you hear smallpox, all they just show you pictures of, and it's terrible, because if you don't know, you're like, hell yeah, give me that vaccine, right? They look like burn victims. They look like they've been dipped in acid. It's terrible. Who wants that shit, right? But they don't, all they see, just like now, they show you pictures of they show you statistics of people with COVID. And then, they're like, oh, and people that don't question anything, like, oh my God, the number. Same thing with polio, right? Jonas Salk, I did a mini movie Maybe I should put that up for Vaccine Sucks Saturdays. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put my mini movie that I did. It's called Are We Being Told the Truth About Polio? And when Jonas Salk invented the polio vaccine, there were actually doctors, same thing, you can find in medical journals that were criticizing him, saying that his vaccine was actually going to give people polio because of the process he was using. I think he was using like formaldehyde to like weaken or attenuate the viruses. And they're like, no, you're going to actually give people, you're going to actually make people sick. And then he's like, oh, shut up. And within like the first month, 40,000 people got polio from the vaccine. It's called the Cutter incident. And you hear about the Cutter incident, but nobody tells you that it was actually Jonas Salk's vaccine that did it. But then you have all of this publicity of Jonas Salk like injecting people, and he's like, oh, I invented a vaccine. And everyone's like, yay, polio is gone. But then they also don't tell you that polio is, the vaccine is preventative. It's not like a cure. So people have this thing cure, but just like the frontline doctors, there was this lady named Elizabeth Kinney, look her up, Elizabeth Kinney, who actually was curing people of polio, curing people of polio through detoxification and muscle reentrainment. But they knew about her. There was a movie that was made about her, with Rosalind Russell. I think she may have even won an Oscar, or at least was nominated for an Oscar in the 1950s. She was brought to the White House. She was world renowned for curing people of polio. And they basically buried her work. They tried to, discredit her, just like the frontline doctors. She was basically the hydroxychloroquine of the 1950s. So it's interesting because I love medical history and all this stuff. And the more that you dig back in the history, you see the same formulas that they use. They just use the same formula over and over again because they rely on the fact that these people are ignorant. That you're ignorant. That you don't know. Okay? So over and over again. Right? Same thing. So when this COVID shit happened, I was like, word, wow, they're just using the same formula because people don't know, right? So it's up to you to educate yourself. This is a good place to start. She has lots of references, over 800 references where you can go. Some of the studies and journals are online. Some of them are not. Well 2 has a lot of the information. I had to go when I was cross-referencing. There's a website called WHALETO Well 2. And they're an archive, and they have a lot of the references. Like CDC actually has if it's still up, they have an article on Alfred Russel Wallace, but they're basically just dogging him. But if you read between the lines, he did use the data to prove that the smallpox vaccine was actually causing smallpox. And also a complication of the smallpox vaccine is tuberculosis, which Jenner's son died of, which he injected with the smallpox vaccine. So, I mean, there's just a lot of shit that they don't tell you. Sorry, guys, I just totally nerded. Oh, I'm not sorry, but I nerded the fuck out. But anyway, I'm gonna start taking calls. Fucking liars. All right, not you guys, those evil medical people. 41. Oh, hold on. 512-481-7464. I'll see if it lets me pin it to the top, because last time it didn't let me pin it to the top. Oh shit, hold on. No! What? No, wait. The window's not opening. Okay, keep calling. Where? Oh. Hold on. Oh, it's on my tablet. Hold on, you guys. That's why it's... Oh, come on. Okay, call again. What? Why? Alright, hold on one sec. Give me a minute. It's on my tablet. Hold on. I don't know why my tablet. I don't use my tablet that much. All right, call again. Whoever was calling, try again. Try again. Forgive me. Call again. Call again. Call again. It should be. Oh, okay. You're coming. It's calling. It's calling. Hi. Sorry about that. Good morning.
Hey. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Who's this?
Good. How you doing? Jakari.
Hey, Jakari. What's going on? Was that you? You're calling, right?
Yeah, I was calling. You know, I'm always the first one.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm back. I'm happy I can take calls again.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. My computer made it, man. I was praying, man. It's like, whew, my life.
It's crazy. You said your computer was only 7 years old and it's already flunking out. Man, they don't make them to last. You know what I mean?
You know what it was just a power cord issue. So I thought it was like sparks were coming out, but the power cord was messed up and the computer's fine. So I was freaking out though. I'm like, I think I need to get a new computer this year because I use it to make music and my Logic always freezes up and stuff, but I'm not ready to get one just yet because I can't afford it really. So I'm trying to, just with the, anyway, So I have a tablet. I was doing that on that, but all my work and everything is on my laptop, like my music, the software for this, everything, my life was on here. So
you have a desktop?
My friend and I built another PC. He built one for me for editing, but I don't it's just for editing and I don't have anything on that really. So yeah, but everything right now that I do, like the shows, the interviews, like everything, music is all on my I have a MacBook, so it's on my MacBook. Yeah. Yeah. So, what's up? What do you want to talk about?
So, what you think about the Gina Carano thing?
I didn't look that up. So you tell me. Is it okay? They canceled, right? Because she made some kind of comment about like. You tell me.
And it wasn't even her quote. She just reposted it.
Wait, what did she repost?
They would look for anything just to get rid of her, though. That's the whole thing about it.
Who is she?
She's on The Mandalorian. The Star Wars franchise, part of Disney Plus and Star Wars and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So what's her name? Gina.
She's a big character on that. It's like you can't just replace her. You know what I mean? It's so stupid. It's like she has a huge fan base. You can't just be like replace her. And like she's been so political and stuff, and that's been bugging them, and she's not doing what they wanted her to do, and that just bothers them. And then it's like she's been doing all this different stuff, and they're like, we finally got to get rid of her, and they did it. They just, it seemed like she kept crossing the line a little bit, but I was following what she was saying, but it was just like, man, they're gonna.
What else was she saying? What was she saying?
She talked a lot about the election and stuff like that. She's a very conservative girl. I follow her on Twitter. Every time she's tweeting something, I liked everything she said, but it's just the fact that, when she's leaning conservative and then on some kind of liberal network like Disney, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like eventually they're going to be.
Well, I mean,
get on you eventually.
Okay, let's back up. It's not just liberal shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking New World Order shit. So.
Well, I know that.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Disney owns Hollywood, everything. Yeah, Disney owns Star Wars. Disney owns. Have you seen that? I haven't seen this map anywhere else, but they had it in what was that? The Outer Shadows, where they were talking about like how all the corporations have merged. Basically, it's not. It used to be 6. I think it's even less than 6 corporations now, and and Disney basically has just engulfed everything. Like Disney owns the Star Wars franchise now. They own like Star Wars shit. So it's like everything. So though. She hopefully she has enough money saved where she can just be like, F you, I'm good for like at least,
she does.
20 more years or more.
And she's gonna get a political job off of it. We already know that's gonna happen. That's a given, and she got so many people behind her. You know,
Yeah.
she's not gonna be hungry. You know what I mean?
Does she want a political job though? Because I feel like people, even say they're like, oh, you should get in politics. They even tell that to me, and I'm not even that big, but I'm just like, I don't want one. Like I guess kind of frustrated too, where people think that politics is the only way to solve problems, is the only way that you can change the world, and that's not true.
Of course. Yeah.
So maybe she doesn't want a political job. Who knows?
I think she's too passionate about it. She's too passionate about it. I think if they offer her, she's gonna take it because she's way too passionate about it.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe that's what she wants, but I mean, like, I don't know. That just annoys me too, where people think that politics is like the only answer, and that anybody that's outspoken needs to be in politics. And I think there's so many different avenues that you can go with that. So we'll see. Maybe she wants that.
Yeah.
Maybe she wants a break. Well, maybe she just wants to be on her Twitter and going. Like, if I had money, I just want a break. I just be doing music and just cursing people out and going off on Twitter, and not even doing politics. It's like, even once you see, the system is still broken, right? Even on the conservative side, it's very cliquish and it's very controlled in certain aspects. There's even in the conservative circles. I was talking to somebody the other day. If you still don't say the right things within the right things, and kiss the right people's asses in the conservative circles, they're still just kind of cut out. So it's not as free as people would like to think that it is,
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, I don't, like, I'm just saying this whole idea that, oh, once you're on the conservative side, you're good to go. No, that's some bullshit. I don't believe that. I know that. Yeah. I know that's not true. And a lot of these conservatives, they act like they're holier than thou, but they're subject to the same temptations as people are on the left. They're not just as exposed. Because they're human. They're human.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's it.
Yeah. So what's her name? Gina what? Corona. Gina Corona. Okay. I saw the name and I saw that she did something and people were mad, and so good for her. Good for her. Like, she probably, maybe, I'm hoping what she'll do instead of getting into politics is that she'll start her own acting or own franchise or own something related to the arts. Because this is what I'm waiting for people to do in Hollywood, is to break off and start their own movements with the arts. Because it's like we have this whole fallacy that, we are, that just because you're in Hollywood, you have to, or just because you're an actor, that you have to capitulate to Hollywood. And this is what they have.
People don't want that. Yeah, you're right.
And it's like, I know so many good artists, but it's like you can't, unless you go along with their agenda, you can't, like, what am I trying to say? You can't make a living.
Yeah, you got to go with that.
You got to go with your...
you got to know certain people and all that.
Yeah, well, I understand that, though, because that's kind of like human nature, right? Because I used to be bitter about that, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then until I started doing stuff myself, I was like, oh, yeah, I naturally want to hire my friends. I naturally want to hire people that I know are good and that aren't going to fuck up my money. So that's natural, right? Yeah. Like, that, especially if you're going to be working with somebody on a long project, you want to really work with people that you know and you understand their work. So that's normal. But as far as, like, having the same political ideology, or even, I used to not believe it, but I really believe, like, there's a lot of Satanism and all that stuff in the industry. I would hear stories and stuff, but I didn't believe it. Now I'm just like, wow, it looks like it's really rampant, especially watching after watching how a lot of these celebrities are, just capitulating and following suit with, like, going after Trump supporters and going after Trump, and especially when they used to party with him, like, just a couple years before. But now he's this horrible, evil, racist person. Yeah. Like, it seems like somebody has something on them. Like they're being, blackmailed or something. Like, they're scared, Not like it's even genuine.
Yeah. People was always like, hey, won't celebrities do something for the poor? Like, I don't think they're allowed to, man. You know what I mean? That's in their contract. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they think all the time.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, they definitely...
I mean, I think about that. I'm like, is it? Or they a lot of these people are narcissistic. They don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. Because my dad would always say, oh, what doesn't, like, Eddie Murphy and Michael Jackson and Bill Cosby get all their money together and, like, help the inner city community? Like, all these people that are really rich, why don't they do something?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe they are blackmailed or they can't do that. But I've never seen them attempt to do anything like that either. And a lot of people just move out, and they just like, the only person that really I saw do something that was trying to do something big was Nipsey, or not Nipsey Russell. What's his name? No, I can't think of his name. Nipsey Russell's an actor, but it was a rapper, and it sounded Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle,
yes.
And then they killed him for it. You know, so it's like. You know, and, you know, no conscious music. No, they don't want any of that stuff. You know, it's very spiritual war. They know that the music and arts are very powerful in the minds of all people. And that's why they made that fucking rap music video, but the vaccine. I don't think it's going to work.
That's the corniest crap I've ever heard in my life. Did you hear that?
I got the vaccine. You got the vaccine. They got the vaccine. Huh? What? Like, are you serious?
This ain't 85, man. Come on.
Yeah. But it's just like, that's what they think, you know, shucking and jiving blacks, you know, are gonna, the black people aren't taking the vaccine. Quick, make a rap video. That would that'd get them to take the vaccine. Oh my God, why did I think of that? Of course, black people love rap. They love rap. Yeah. They just love it. We'll just make a rap song for them, and then we'll speak to them in their language, and then they'll go out and get it. They'll go out and genocide themselves after we do a rap video. That's the ticket.
They'll get some strippers.
That's the ticket, yeah. Or, you know, like those commercials where, you know, they're pandering to black people where they have, like, the reverb.
Yeah.
they're like, it'd be like a bail bonds commercial. And they were like, oh, free bail bonds. like, no money down, no money down. They're like... You know, just like, come on, man, like, for real, you know. Yeah. But just I was still
playing the same game.
And just like I was saying with the doctors and women and money and shit, there are black people that fall for that shit. You know, that's why they keep getting away with it. You know, the black people. You know, they like the Clintons will hire Beyonce and Jay-Z, and just to make it look like they like black people, where they're stabbing them in the back, where they're you know, they're being mentored by Klan members, and projecting the same, you know, using the Saul Alinsky tactics and projecting the same, you know, things that they're doing to other people onto other people, but they're doing it. You know, it's the same shit. Yeah. It's just like, anyway. All right, Jigard.
You remember that time when Oh, okay.
No, go on. You went going. I cut you going. 2 more minutes. I'm gonna try and take.
When Malcolm X was getting on like black celebrities, he was just pretty much saying they were pawns. He was like getting on Lena Horne and Dick Gregory. He was just like, they're full of it. You know what I mean? It's like you putting these black people in front of us, and it's like they're full of crap.
Yeah, he was really wise. He saw through that stuff. I was like, wow, he was on that shit like way back in the day. I had no idea. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, Jakari, let me take this other. I'm Javari. I said Jakari. Javari. Sorry, Javari. Let me take this other call.
All right.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye. Good morning. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hey, what's up? Good morning.
Hey, Rosie, how are you?
Good, how are you? Who's this?
This is D.
D. Have you called before? You new caller?
Yeah, I was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, what's up? How you doing? Could you hear me all well? Okay?
Yeah, I hear you very well.
Okay, let me just check the... Sorry.
Yep.
Keep talking. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. I went to what you were talking about with the video, and I was kind of taken back because that was DMC from Run DMC.
Oh, what?
Yes, it was. And what's so funny about it, I would think Run would do something that stupid, not DMC. But the thing is that, you know, like you said, they really think that black people are so stupid. And then you sit there like, and then, you know, black people, you know, it must be Stockholm syndrome. Because it's like nobody's saying anything about it. It's like, you know, it's like they're so anxious to be wanted. And then, you know, I was discussing the same thing with this lady, a lady I know. And they think all is like, and they really believe that after slavery, we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, you know, and I've explained to her, I said, look, they're wiping us out of history. They took Aunt Jemima off the box. I said, what do you think that means? They're erasing us.
Yeah.
And then within a few, and I threw out this prediction. I said, give it to about 2050 something. They will say slavery never happened because there will not be a descendant here in the United States from there. Because all the new blacks are basically on 2050 something.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's like, they have no lineage to that. So they even started like back in 2008, where now they're calling it what do they call it now? The Atlantic Triangle trade, where there was no slavery involved, so they're wiping it out. And I explained, and then black folks don't get it. And then, no, that's not going to happen. I said, dude, it's already happened. I said, you don't hear black folks even discussing slavery or anything that happened during slavery to their children. I don't want my kids. I had one guy I know, he said, no, I don't want my kids knowing about that. So why are you talking about we built this country, but you don't want your kids to know about it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, I think that we should know about it, but I think that we should also shouldn't harp on it, too.
Yeah, don't
because there are people that are just Oh, yeah, I'm going. All right. You go.
Ladies first.
Well, I feel bad I cut you off, but we both had a train of thought. But it's basically too. But they're also using slavery to keep the status quo, to keep us in this victim state, and this part of the PTSD mind control, because it enables our victimhood, and they always keep us in that, or either like the Jim Crow era. And I always joke, it's like if you read, like I didn't like history until I got older because I hated it. I hated being a black person and talking about history, because the only time that black people showed up was with slavery, and then we just miraculously disappeared, and then we come back, during the 1960s.
Right.
Yeah, and where we're being abused, psychologically and physically abused again. And It's just like traumatic. And then you know how kids are. They're like, ha, you were a slave. Ha ha. So it's just like, God, I don't even want to I hated history. And I think this is done on purpose now that I'm older and I look back. But they always make it about old white men, and then people get mad. They're like, oh, history is about old white men. But that's what they make it about. And they make you, and if you're not an old white man, they don't really show you doing anything relevant. So it's like, why do you want to even learn history?
Right.
But but they didn't Thomas Sowell. What's his name? Jason Riley just did this really good documentary on Thomas Sowell. And
I saw it.
Did you guys see that? You saw it? Yeah, it was really good.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make a video talking about it next week. But it was really good. But they want to make it seem like you were saying that black people didn't do anything after slavery. But we had the strongest family unit. We were, and even around slavery, was George Washington Carver? Was he a slave? Or was it after? But he was inventing shit. He invented he was doing work with peanuts and invented so much shit. Yeah. There were lots of inventions. We were inventing things. We were doing heart surgeries. We had our own colleges. We had movements. We had And
that's what I explained to this lady. I said, well, how did they do it during the height of Jim Crow and segregation? I said, well, then I explained to her, look, we had more educated people driven 100 years ago than we do today.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, there's nobody stopping us. I said, it's us stopping us.
Yes.
I gave her an example. I said, look how the black community is with the youth. Oh, if you're speaking when you're speaking correctly and articulating, oh, you're trying to be white.
Oh, totally.
So
and I was talking.
That video is a put down where even some of them white politicians, they come around black people, they start, oh yeah, I keep hot sauce in my bag, and all this silliness.
Yeah, no, totally. It's crazy. And you know what? It's funny. And my uncle's very leftist and stuff, but he told me this years ago when I was a kid. And he, when I was struggling with being made fun of the way I spoke in school, and he was like, and this is where I did the series where I interviewed a lot of black conservatives, and I called it the Blacker Than Thou. And I got it actually from my uncle, because he was just like, this whole Blacker Than Thou thing didn't even come about until the 1960s. It was either you spoke English or you just spoke the way that you spoke, but then this whole separation, he was just saying what he'd noticed from his observation, that it wasn't even a thing until the 1960s, or people were being made fun of because of how they talk, and the whole black pride movement and all that stuff. So he even, well, I would say he's more liberal. He's not super leftist. He's more, but he's, Biden buys into the whole drunk all the Kool-Aid's going to get the vaccine, all that shit. He's not SJW crazy though.
Right.
But he's older. He's just like, oh, I'm a Democrat. I'll be a Democrat forever, and Trump is racist, and I'm going to get the vaccine. But it was just interesting. I was thinking about that he noticed that he calls them the blacker than thou. These people that think they hold the keys to black consciousness and black being, right? And that they think that you are, they're blacker than you, and they have the right to tell you how black you can and can't be.
Right. Did you see that other documentary called Uncle Tom?
Yes. That was Larry Elder's documentary?
Yeah, exactly. I watched that, and I was like, oh, okay. Because then it reminded me, because then when I heard my uncle talk, who passed away last year, he was telling me that his father and his uncles, they were businessmen. And I'm sitting there listening to this man, I'm saying, what? And they were from North Carolina and Virginia. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? And then he was telling me that, they worked and they also had their own businesses on the side. And he said his father owned also a grocery store. And I'm like, sitting there listening to him. I'm like, then why did y'all leave? Why did y'all leave that to come to New York and all that stuff? And it's like, they wanted, basically when they came to New York, because they didn't want to work they didn't want to maintain that. They didn't want to work. They want to come to New York and hang out. And it's like, because they wanted a Cadillac. They wanted the feel of it. It's like they wanted to leave there from living in a house to getting in an apartment. And an apartment was something else then, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, and then he told me out of his mouth is that because he didn't want to work hard. I'm like, but then he ended up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, but so to go back in, it's like, and I explain to people, dude, we had it, we gave it up because we want to fit in. Yeah. Now we're and then when I think it was, what was the girl name, the new Jim Crow, Alexander was her name?
Oh, I don't, Ocasio-Cortez? What do you mean?
No, the book called, The New Jim Crow.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, her name Alexander, and she was at a lecture, and she said there were more fathers in the home during slavery than it is today.
Oh, yeah.
Then I asked the question to this woman, I said, what does that make us? I said, we allowed ourselves and allowed the system to make us subhuman. We became what they always thought we were.
Yeah. Even
though we weren't. Yeah. I said, and then I said, we gave up all those values and all that other stuff just to fit in. Because anybody coming with values and, they looked at it as a bad thing because the white liberal said it's okay. And then I was explaining how to do it. I said, if you don't get back to that, we're done. But then it's like you understand it, but it's feel like, okay, I don't want to give up my white feminist mentality because I want to be independent, but you're getting up there in age because I was talking to her and saying, I said, when y'all adopted that mentality, it was, everyone knew, even in, like the documentary said, the black family was on the decline. And what was it? There was a white congressman in his 60s and 70s. I forgot his name. McGovern, or, I can't remember. And he pointed it out and he started calling them racist. And he was a Democratic leftist. And he pointed it out what was happening to the black family. And they thought they called him a racist and all this other stuff, and he was 100% correct. And the thing is, when I was explaining something, is that now you see, it's like, to me, it ain't coming back. I said, and I explained to a couple of my friends that, dude, the American blacks are done. I said, we gave it all up for somebody else that had no interest in us. And then even when you pointed out with Thomas Sowell, and I never thought about it until I heard him say it out of his mouth, the less political influence we had, the more we strived. I was like, oh, wow. And then you think about it, okay, 100 years ago, yeah. Because we had nobody else to depend on but us. And then it was like, excellence, regardless, excellence. No, you ain't coming here with a D. It's about working hard, whatever. Because when we were, and like I said, when we were growing up, it's like there was there was a thing that we all did. And I asked this question to every black person. And they answered it and they didn't know they were doing it. I said, when you came home from school, what was the first thing you had to do? Asking you this question.
Homework.
No, you didn't do. No, the first thing you did as soon as you got home from school.
I had to do homework.
Before you did homework.
Eat?
The first thing you had to do, as soon as you came home, is get out of your school clothes and put on your play clothes.
Oh, well, that wasn't me. Because I didn't have a uniform. I didn't have school.
No, it wasn't even uniform. Because it wasn't even a uniform. Because like I said, I guess you're a different generation.
Yeah.
Because it taught you time and place.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I get it. Go on.
Huh?
No, I totally get it. Go on. You had your church clothes that you're going to say.
You had your church clothes, you had your school clothes, you had your play clothes. It taught you time and place. You dressed this way when you went here, you dressed this way when you went there. You didn't talk a certain way when you were around white people. Because if you said something stupid, you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
The thing is not to let them think that you were ignorant, but now it become the norm and cool, so that's why they talk down to us.
Like we're fucking pets. Like we're pets. Like we're pets.
Yeah.
They think that we're pets.
Yeah.
You know? And they, it's okay. We can go around burning buildings and rioting and stuff because we don't know better, right? We're black people. They don't know.
They're black.
There's something is wrong with their brain, And it's like my friend's son, and who's white, and I don't think he's a racist person, but this is what he's learning in school. He's like, well, Mom, black people, their brains just work differently. He told her that, and he's like, it's like 16, 17, and just like, well, she's like, that's not true. You're being brainwashed to think that. And especially if you're not around black people, you haven't had a lot of experience about black people, and all you're seeing what's on the TV, then it's easy for you to believe that. And even now, with the channel that I have, I don't really take offense to it because I think that people, their intentions are, they mean well when they say stuff, but they come up to me and they're like, oh my God, you're such an intelligent black, articulate black person. I was like, have you ever seen another black person that's intelligent? Really? Like, the system of control is like that deep,
Exactly. Because even with the Gina Carano thing, that I'm going to hang up. Even with that, and my friend of mine said, oh man, he telling me, oh, she has Trump's philosophies. I said, yo, what do you mean? And I said, oh, because he got it from his brother. His brother told him this. I said, dude, look, stop going by what people say. Go look for yourself.
Yeah.
Then I explained, I said, that's not what she said. She pointed out that before the Nazis came in and snatched people up, is that they got the citizens to do it for them.
Yeah.
So when it came down for them to step in, I'm paraphrasing. It was no problem. I said, that's what she said.
Yeah, but that's what they do.
Huh?
That's what the divide and conquer is. You get each group to fight each other, and then when they eliminate one group, then you go in and you dissect another group, and then you get that group to fight each other, and then when that group is gone, and whoever kills that person, then you dissect that other group, right? It's kind of like you get the whites and the blacks to fight each other, and then say the blacks win and kill the whites, then you go in and you dissect the blacks, and then you get the light-skinned blacks and dark-skinned blacks to fight each other, and then when maybe the dark-skinned blacks win, so then you get the men and the women to fight each other, you know what I mean? And then whoever wins with that, and then when it diminishes, then you go, that's easier for you to kill that smaller group because, there's more of us than there is of them, so they have to make us fight each other. Right.
And that's what I was in a way. I had to constantly keep, telling people I know, dude, everything is not a race issue. It's not.
Yeah.
I said, Obama, you're making it a race issue because that's what you've been told to think. And I said, no, it's like you're trying to promote Gina Carano to be racist. I said, dude, she's Hispanic. I said, dude, I said the bottom line. I said, and I explained to him, go read what the person said. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. I said, so why are you getting in there? Why are you getting into it if you don't want to research and find out what was actually said?
And when do you want somebody to do that to you? It's like the same people, too. Like, I noticed even with my brother. My brother gets mad when people have assumptions about him. I was like, but you have assumptions about people. So, I mean, it's like, wouldn't you want to have your point of view, like, you know, being seen in a fair light?
Mm-hmm.
You know, wouldn't you want people to really understand what you're trying to say instead of assuming what you're trying to say?
Right.
You know?
And then it was so funny, and then I told her, I said, and then I explained to my man, I said, look, I said, do you think any of those people that's calling her out on Twitter and all them social media will step to her in person? I said, no, because they know because she's an MMA fighter. And they wouldn't even mess with her. So it's easy to go online and call her type of names, but they would not say that to that woman's face.
Oh, she fights Gina Corona fights MMA?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to look it up. Yeah.
MMA fighter. And the thing is, if you look at her movies, you see her practicing it in her movies. And I said, dude, the woman, I said, look, the woman, she's fans. I mean, and it was so funny, and I explained to the people, I said, look, I said, that's their right to say it. If you disagree with it, all right, you disagree with it, keep it moving.
Yeah, but people act like they're going to turn to dust and shit if somebody says the wrong thing. Like, being called the N-word is like the racist, like the most, like they're going to just like disappear or something. Like, spontaneously combust.
And I said, dude, and I said, dude, so I said that she has the right to, she shouldn't be saying that. I said, so what? I said, let them say it. That's her right. I mean, you don't have to listen to it. I said, what do you care if they said it? And then I explained to her, I said, Trump is a racist. I said, so what if he is? What does that have to do with you?
And he's not, but it's like...
I said, there's a lot of people out there like that, that you think that's like that, and you think they're your friends.
Yes, exactly. They're the worst ones. They're the worst racists. Yeah. They do the most damage.
Exactly. And I'm like, dude, let it go. I said, then I asked the question to a few blacks. I said, when Trump was in office, I said, did your life change in any way since he's been in there? It's like they were standing there like deers in the headlights. So what do you mean? I said, did your life change since you've been in office? Oh, but then he's going to bring up the corona. I said, no, that's something else. I said, before that. I said, no, your life didn't change, nothing, no iota, nothing. I said, so what do you care I said, why do you care on a man you don't even know?
Yeah.
You don't know him personally.
Yeah, they have...
We live in New York. We never seen him. I said, so why are you getting caught up in a man? You're going by hearsay, gossip. That's all that is. I said, but unless you go out there and research for yourself or you go investigate it, I mean, don't worry about it.
They can't be bothered.
Exactly. I said, the bottom line is that, but I explained the message the man is saying. Listen to what he's saying. He's letting you know what's going on, but you're so caught up in you're using your haters blinding you. You don't want to listen or see it.
Yeah.
And I said, and then the bottom line, I said, dude, it's like, and I told all these people I spoke to about this. I said, dude, what you did, you voluntarily went right back into slavery, and you don't even know.
Yeah, totally mental slavery. Psychological slavery.
And then after that, then it's like it's easy for you to go and walk into the physical because hey. And then I spoke to a lot of blacks in some of the neighborhoods with the universal basic income. They were down to get they're down to get it.
Yeah, and because we've been brainwashed to believe that we're owed something for slavery that we never experienced. You know?
And then that's what I told. I said then. Because you hear the pro-blacks, they always talk about Black Wall Street. And they say, well, look what happened to Black Wall Street. They destroyed it. I said, yeah, but the thing they don't tell you is that they rebuilt it. They rebuilt after they were massacred.
And same thing with Chinatown. The Chinese did it. You know what I mean? They had their Chinatown burned down and stuff too. Like they rebuilt it, and then they stayed. They kind of studied the course because they haven't. I think because they stuck together so much,
Right.
It was hard for them to be taken down again.
Exactly, and that's what I told the guy. I said, dude, it was rebuilt. I said, you know how it fell? I said, when integration and a great society was signed, and black folks thought they didn't have to go to our institute, we can go over to theirs. That's how it fell. I said that's what every black organization, business or whatever fell because we can go to a lunch counter, we can go to Disneyland, we can go here. We don't have to go to ours anymore, and that's how it felt. I said you had a lot of black celebrities even back in the early days, basically built institutions for blacks to use. We were using them, and then once once we felt like we didn't have to do it anymore, I said that's why the Negro Leagues fell. That's why I don't know if you remember this. I don't remember this guy named Pegleg Bates. He built a resort up in upstate New York, and blacks would go there every summer. Every summer.
I didn't know that.
And then once the integration thing happened, is that he went out of business. He had to sell the land.
Oh wow.
So I said, yeah, we had all these issues. We gave it up just to fit in. To this day, now we fit in so bad. It's like now we don't have we dependent on the government.
Wow, I've thought about the integration thing. Now I'm starting to think about that. Was it the best thing? It's like, but I like integrating. I would say we
were always doing that, but the government didn't have to force people to do it. But the thing, it was already being done because, like I live here in Brooklyn. Back my oldest brother back in the early '60s in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. There was a lot of integrated neighborhoods, like even in Brooklyn. Like you had in certain Crown Heights, you had Hasidic Jews, you had the Italians, you had the blacks, you had the Puerto Ricans. We all were living on the same block. There was none of that. It was already like parts of New York was already integrated before that even happened. And it was certain neighborhoods, because you talk to some older cats that in their 60s and 70s, they will tell you they grew up in a neighborhood with white people, And I remember when I was a kid. I said I was in a public high school when I was in the first and second grade. There was Hasidics in my class, so wow. it was already there. So it's like when it was like they mine was looking back on it. It was like to tear it down and give people the black folks a bad image, and they come out with, if you have them in your neighborhood, your your property values will drop. So a lot of them moved out.
Yeah.
But it was just like when we were kids, we played with them and the whole nine. We were in the class with them, the whole nine. But the thing is, they try to make people think, we blacks and whites and everybody was separate. I said, no. But when I remember in New York, no, it wasn't like that. But you did have some neighborhoods that they didn't want, but in certain neighborhoods, it wasn't like that. But I'm just saying that they had people believing that, all that integrate. We weren't in, during the 1800s, we weren't in the Senate and the Congress. I said, yes, we were. Wow. And after you point out names, I said, yeah, they were there. I said, yeah, more legislation for civil rights was pushed by the Republicans in the 40s, 50s, the 50s, Then in the 60s. I said, what's his name? Lyndon B. Johnson did it because Kennedy was pushing it. Kennedy was pushing it, and then, like I said, he was taken out, so he had no other choice but to sign it. But there was no real reason to do it because we were already doing it. We were already doing, and I thought we had more wealth then than we do now. I said our kids were educated. We were going. I said, but how did the black HSBCUs get built? How did they end up there if we were oppressed and slavery and all that BS? Come on now.
Yeah.
Then they stand there looking at you like again, and then blacks standing there looking at you like deers in the headlight or with a sour face, and because he's making them think. I said, yeah. I said, that's why, and I explained to somebody. I said, that's why they took the man out the house. Because if you did something stupid, your pops would slap you upside the head and say, boy, why don't you think?
I remember I called my older neighbor homegirl. She was in her 80s. And I was like, what's up, homegirl? My mom slapped me so fast.
There you go.
I was like, what up, homegirl? My mom was like, whoopsh. Don't you ever.
Like I said, know your position.
Yeah, I was before I could get girl out my mouth, my mom slapped the shit out of me.
Get out of you. Because it's like your position. It's like if your mother's friend, that's Mrs. So-and-so, that's Miss So-and-so, or Mr. So-and-so. You didn't call your mom by her first name. That was bad. You got slapped in the mouth. You know, it's like show respect and play your position. And that's what it is.
Yeah, no. I did call my mom by my first name. But people were surprised that she let me do that. My mom didn't mind that, but anybody else, you know, all that stuff, she was just like, no. Right. But I know that was just like, yeah. But I understand that now. I understand what that was trying to teach. You know, was respect and respect to elders and respect.
And now you don't, like I said, you don't have that today. Even with some of the young guys out there. They shouldn't have shot that kid. I said, dude, look, I mean, come on, what were they supposed to do? I said, even with the dude, what's the guy that got shot in the back? I don't know his name, whatever. And I said, dude, they gave him a chance. I said, they gave that kid a chance. Then it's like the other guy in Georgia when he was trying, he knew he was toe up, but he tried to talk his way out of it. Dude, come on, you know you messed up. And I said, it's your girl's fault for letting you drive out of the house like that. She should be put up on charges because the bottom line, she threw you out knowing you wasn't in the right condition to drive.
Yeah.
And expect you to get home. Now anything could happen. And I even told my man, dude, I said the man could have drove and got into an accident and killed somebody.
Yeah.
I said that's what could have happened. I said, look at the. I said the lady. I said the girl, his girlfriend who put him out should be charged with along with with his murder because the bottom line, he would have ended up dead if she would just let him sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to go rambling, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I tell my friends, I said, dude, look at it from another perspective. I said, what was he doing there? Well, and then to go back again, and then I said, look at it. I said, all this stuff is happening. Why are these Negroes still doing stupid crap? And then, come on, you see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like nobody, and I said, the problem is none of these thugs are laying low. It's like it's like they have no concept of what's actually going on.
Yeah.
I said, that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
I said, but then they don't talk about the real guys, the real people that are getting hurt by the cops or killed by the cops. They don't talk about it because he doesn't have a prison record. He had a job, he had a family, he had kids. They don't talk about that. And I said that, and then I was explaining to my man, dude, the media is always lying.
Always. And they always have. They've always have. This is the thing, too. People realize they've always have. There's always been, as long as they've controlled the information, as long as there's an entity that controls, like, I don't know if you saw my rant at the beginning before I start taking calls about, like, the medical journals and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like that's all. It's always been a thing, but now because of the internet, it's being exposed, and we can counter it. But it's not like they just started lying, like when Trump became president.
Exactly. And then I said they've been doing, and I explained to people. I said, dude, because one time over here where I live, some news van pulled up and they was going to interview people about something that was going on, and I just looked at it, but I said, now let me walk away, because I said if they would have came to me and asked me questions, I would have told that report. I would have told that reporter off.
Well, you know what you need to do though. You know what you need to do. You need to just turn on your camera and record yourself doing it.
Mm.
You know?
Oh yeah. I
even like maybe they either A, they wouldn't have shown it, or B, they would have showed it and tried to manipulate it. But then if they did that, you would have had, or you just could have uploaded it somewhere and been like, look, I told this. Like, do you ever see that dude? It was amazing. I don't know where it was, but this guy is recording a reporter, and the reporter's not wearing his mask. And
I saw that one.
Yeah, and the guy's going up, and he's like, oh, but then the cameraman turns the camera on, and then he puts the mask on, and he's like, hey, I just caught you not wearing a mask, so you're going to put your mask on now that, that the camera's on? And the guy was all like,
And he was laughing at the guy, too.
Yeah, he was like, you guys are pathetic.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I look at that, I'm like, this is, like I said, you can't say that, I don't know how this is going to end, man, because, you can put up every scenario, but, I want to ask you a question.
Hold on 1 second.
Do you think most states will succeed from the union?
Hold on 1 second. I just picked up a new caller. Just hold on. Let me finish up with this guy, okay?
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, so Do I think the most states are going to succeed from the using? I don't know what's going to happen. I think Texas will probably be the first one if that happens. I'm in Texas, so I know they're serious about talking about seceding.
Right.
Like seceding from
Yeah.
the from.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. We
I
might
brought
become
that up
balkanized.
and
We might.
They go, oh no, they can't do that. They're gonna bomb them. They're gonna put sanctions on them. I said, you look at their GDP. They have a GDP of a small country.
Yeah, I'm solid.
They,
like, I'm so glad I moved to Texas. Not to throw it in your face, but you know,
I would, but I don't like the heat.
It's cold now. I got icicles forming on my balcony. My plants froze up last night. It snowed it snowed a couple weeks ago. It gets cold here.
Oh wow. Oh. I don't know. Like I said, I don't. Like I said, right now, because I'm in New York,
Yeah.
I'm in communist country.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta come a little bit. Texas is not totally free, but it's a little bit free. It's definitely better than New York, from what I hear.
Yeah. So that's so that's that's on my mind also. Because even during this whole thing, I'm gonna say this, and I'm definitely gonna hang up. Is that during this whole thing for almost the last year, and then. I find out for myself is that how alone you are when you think differently.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that's why I do my show, and that's why I do my videos, because I understand.
Right.
You know, I definitely get it. And I was thinking, a lot of the friends that I have now in Texas that are close to me, I mean, I had some friends that live far out, but I have them because they reached out to me because they saw my videos, and they saw that I was in Austin, and now we're like thick as thieves, you know. Anonge, my friend Anonge, she used to watch the channel, and she reached out to me. And we've been friends for about a year, and I have a couple other people. And every time we get together, we thank our lucky stars because it's like, you know, we were talking about how when you think outside the box and when you go against the grain, you're rewarded with fellowship. Because a lot of those other people, too, that are going against the grain, that aren't going against the grain, they're just going with the narrative. They don't really seem to have friendships as deep, you know?
You know, yeah, like I said, the same thing. Even when I talked to my friend of mine, even about the vax. Now, everybody know now they don't want to take it. But one guy I know, he said a friend of his took it, and he was telling him not to take it. You know, it's the Tuskegee experiment. And he said the guy took it. He said 2 weeks later he ended up getting pneumonia.
Oh, no, but it's supposed to save him. Anyway, thank you so much. Your conversation was so enlightening. I learned so much. And I want to get to the other caller because they've been waiting patiently. So
I know, yeah. Let me get over.
I'll
talk to you later.
All right, bye, D. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you? What's your name?
Do you want my screen name or do you want my real name?
Whatever you want to. Whatever you're comfortable
Okay,
telling
well, you're demonetized, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's a free speech area?
Whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm known as the racist tranny.
Oh, you're the racist tranny?
I am the racist tranny. Hello, honey.
How are you?
I am doing well. I'm one of the choppers from Axe Truth.
Oh, cool.
Axel turned me onto your channel this last Monday when you had that panel discussion.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That was a wonderful panel discussion. And like Anangi, although Anangi is currently going through a divorce, I am married to a white liberal.
Oh, no.
And I'm not a white liberal.
Oh, no. I mean, how is that working? Maybe it's not. Maybe you guys are learning from each other. Maybe
It's been 12 years, honey, and it's going absolutely. And may I call you honey?
Whatever you want. It's cool. I like being called honey.
Okay. 12 years we've been together, and it doesn't come without its trials and tribulations. However, I wouldn't have it any other way because I like having an opposing mindset, as silly as it might seem. Let me give you an example. My husband wanted to go out and get this Moderna, Pfizer, mRNA, jab, okay? Because it's not a vaccine. Vaccines don't operate like this thing is. And so he also doesn't drink. So I got out a martini glass, and I put together a mysterious liquid, and I poured it into the martini glass, and I said, okay, honey, here, drink this. And he goes, what's in it? And I was like, it doesn't matter what's in it because we've been together for so long. Don't you trust me? And he goes, well, yeah, I trust you, but I want to know what's in it. And I was like, honey, why would I give you anything which would hurt you?
Oh,
It's like, just drink it. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, so you'll go out and you'll get a mysterious chemical injected into your muscle, but you won't take a cocktail which is probably non-alcoholic, and it's probably something you'd like from your own wife.
Wow, that's smart. Yeah. So what did he say?
See, this is something I learned when I was living in Texas. See, I was a soldier at Fort Hood back when I was a man, But I know about, the weather in Texas, and yes, it does get, really, really cold and stuff. But I look at him, and I look at what I was taught in my multicultural, and this isn't one of the, what do they call those when they virtue? This isn't a virtue signal. This is the reality. It's like I was born in the mid-1960s, and I went into the military, and at the age of 17 through the delayed entry program, and I was mixed up with everyone at every single stripe. Male, female, it didn't matter. Ethnicity didn't matter. We were all there for a common cause, okay? And I learned so much in that cultural diversity, which I am so happy to have lived through. And I feel so sorry for kids today in the last 2 decades who think that the world is absolutely racist. These children treating their mothers like whores. Have you seen these videos of these children talking to their parents like they need to dumb down their language for them? Have you seen these videos where these children are treating their mothers like sexual objects on YouTube?
I've seen some of those
Twitter.
videos, and all I can think of is I'd be dead if that was.
Absolutely, we would have gotten the belt. You know we would have gotten the belt. We would have gotten the hose.
Yeah, the belt outside.
The shoe would have been thrown.
Yes.
hard.
The shoe, the belt, the fork, anything my mom could pick up to throw at us or at me.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have gotten all of it in public. She didn't give a shit.
Yes. And now what do we have today? We have children who are being brought up on a diet of fear, a diet of lies, and you are producing this wonderful content, okay, which needs to get out there. But what do we have to remember February 2021? Oh, Tessica put Gorilla Glue in her hair. Cardi B made out with 2 other women on a video, which is on YouTube, proudly up on YouTube, for, not even age restricted. And what's that other thing that just happened? Oh, this rap video you showed, that cartoon, that animation rap video.
Oh my God, it was awful.
Did you hear how they threw AIDS into that whole mix?
No, I didn't have to go back and listen to it. I didn't catch that, but I'm not surprised.
It's a video about vaccination, right? Since when do we have a motherfucking vaccine for the AIDS?
You said the AIDS. My friend says, no, that's a joke. My friend says the AIDS.
I can talk about the AIDS. I don't want to talk about the AIDS. I've had it for over 30 years. But, God damn, what is going on? Where has the common sense gone? And I hope that I'm in the right company to be going off like this.
Oh, girl, yeah, that's fine. Have you seen my channel? Did you just find my channel? I'll be cursing. I'll be going off. It's fine. I'm pretty open about what people can say. So I just tell people that it's not a kids channel. So,
Oh, it definitely, but there needs to be something for these kids. These kids need guidance. My kids, my stepkids, get this shit. Get this horror story of what I was told one day. This is because I live in Minneapolis, okay? This is while the riots were going on, okay? Mm-hmm. My 2 kids went out. They're 19 and 21 now, but they were 18 and 20 last summer. They go out and participate in these riots, okay? They say, we're going out there to have the voices be heard. And I was like, well, what's the message? And it's stop police brutality. And then they come home crying that they got maced and shot at by the cops, right?
Well, that's what happens.
Because that's what happened. Exactly.
They want to be.
And they're like,
They
well,
want to be a
that's not-
part of something, and then they have all these movies like Divergent and stuff, and they make you oh, it's bad to be a freedom fighter, but they don't really know what that means, especially if they're coming home and getting me. I mean, I said the wrong thing. Tear gas when I went to the Capitol on the 6th, but I mean, I complained a little bit, but I wasn't expecting to get to, because there was no riot. But if you're going to a riot, you better expect to get shot at or burned or tear gassed or beat or whatever. That's what happens. It's a riot. It's not a protest.
That is exactly what happens. And we told them before they even left. We were like, like the father, my husband, and I, we were like, don't do this. It's not going to end well. And they're like, oh, we need to go out there and get our, have our voices heard. And it's like, what voice? What? You're two white kids. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, do you realize that you're putting people in danger? And then, I talked to my kids today. I'm like, tell me, how did that BLM thing go? It's like, tell me, have they donated any money to the communities which have been, tore up? And they're like, oh, you just don't understand how it works. And I'm like, oh, I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, it's
I was
funny.
like, let's follow the money, sweetie.
Yeah.
Let's follow the money. So I pulled the donate to the blue or whatever that thing is. I was like, show me where the money is going back to the community. It's like, what has this done? And then I said, do you guys even know what you're standing up for?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're standing up for black people. And I was like, have you ever read the website for Black Lives Matter? Have you ever looked at what they're doing? They want to dismantle the nuclear family.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. I was like, this is a problem in all places of humanity. The family is incredibly important. And you're working to dismantle other people's families, and you're doing it out of virtue. Are you crazy? I said, well, they got upset with me.
Of course. And it sucks because just as a teenager too, you don't want to admit that your parents are right. That's part of it too, right? Like you want to rebel and you want to be like, oh. And it's funny when kids are like, you don't understand, Mom, you don't understand. But I'm just like, they don't even know. They haven't even left the house yet. They haven't even lived in the real world. I'm like, all right. Even with some of my students, when I used to be a teacher, I'd just be like, they'd be like, you don't know. I'm like, really? You're still living in your house? You've never been past your block? But you think you understand how the world works? Okay.
Well, that's just it. You see, I don't know because I didn't grow up like that. But I do know because I'm watching it, and what I'm watching happen right now is that the youth think that because they have a cell phone and they can see the world through a 4x6 piece of plastic, they think that they're actually they think that's living. They think that they are living through a piece of technology, and they think that this is giving them their life experience.
That's so well put.
Going out there and getting a life experience.
That's so well put, and I'm going to use that. So if I'm living through a piece of plastic, that's so true. And that book, I was reading this book. I'm almost done. I've been reading it slowly, but
Which one is it?
It's called The 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television, and this is written in the 70s. And he's basically talking about how television does exactly that, how it gives people a false reality, and it disconnects them from reality. And this is when it was television, so the technology has gotten even worse since then,
Oh, yeah.
And then my friend Max Egan was talking about, also scrying mirrors. You know about scrying mirrors? With back in the day when people would use witchcraft and stuff, they would use these black mirrors to conjure up spirits, or so they believe. But if you look at when the computer and the cell phones are off, they look like scrying mirrors.
They absolutely look like scrying mirrors. Yes, they absolutely do.
So it's like they're conjuring up kind of like this, I wouldn't necessarily say demon, but this reality, this other alternative force, this energy. You know what I mean? That's kind of like
you can see it.
Yeah, it's like an alternate reality. I can't think like a dimension or something else. It's not real. It's a different reality. Right.
It is a different reality, and it's happening in front of us. Lady Gaga is promoting an Oreo cookie called Chromatica. And when you look at Lady Gaga's album for Chromatica, one of the songs is dedicated to Babylon.
But she's always wearing demon horns and stuff.
What's that?
She's always wearing demon horns and all that shit in her videos, and I mean, she's always doing devil shit anyway. It's like,
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's already here. It's like it's come out of the screen. It's children want to go eat these trashy, not good for you. Well, God knows what. I mean, I loved Oreos back in the day. Don't get me wrong, but I would not touch an Oreo today. You do not know what's in that. Back then, we knew what was in.
oh, but now that you know how about the don't even start. Have you heard of the hex? Was it 237? Oh, I can't think of it.
Hexane?
No. Let me see. 237 hex 237 hex. Let me see. It's basically human. So hex stands for human embryonic kidney cells. 293. 293.
Oh, you're talking about that aborted fetus that was taken from that one lady that gave it up without her permission, and then they used it to like go and
They use it for food flavoring.
Test it. They grew it.
Yeah. They're used for flavor enhancers inside junk food. You guys look it up. It's called Hex 293 cells. So who knows what they're putting in? So they're making us unwitting cannibals. And it's like, you never heard of like seasoning salt or sugar? Or like what? You got to put these flavor enhancers in food made from aborted cells, in like kidney cells to enhance the flavor. Like that's so sick.
That is because a scientist actually had to sit there and say out loud, what can I flavor this with so people will eat more of it? I wonder if I could use this aborted fetus.
I know. Exactly. It's like, what are these people thinking? But I know this sounds weird, you guys, but it's true. Just Google Hex 293 cells, and then you might be able to find, if you use like DuckDuckGo, information where they use it as flavor enhancers for junk food. And they don't even say Hex 293 cells on the packaging. They'll say natural flavors. That's what they'll say, and they'll use they'll use
like absolutely.
Yeah, they'll use different. It is disgusting. You're right. They'll use different coding. They won't say it. Just like in the vaccines, they don't say aborted fetal tissue, but they'll say WI38, which is Wistar Institute 38, which is aborted female, right? Or they'll say MRC5. Or they'll say embryonic cells or whatever. They won't say aborted. It won't say it in the manufacturer's insert. They'll list it, but you have to know what you're looking for. So.
See, I wish that people would stop calling it a vaccine because the mode on which this is conveyed and translated in the body, this is not a vaccine. This is an instruction packet, and they're very, very sneaky about the way that they're marketing this. They say it doesn't change, the RNA doesn't go into your DNA and it doesn't change your DNA. That's not what RNA does anyway. All RNA does is get into the cytoplasm of the cell through the cell membrane. It unravels, it makes something called viral DNA, and then the viral DNA goes into the nucleus, takes over the cell, says start making more of these spike proteins. The spike proteins are anticoagulant by nature. I really, really feel sorry for anyone who's planning on becoming pregnant if they ever take this thing, because that placenta is never going to attach to the uterus again.
Well, there was a doctor that just went public on social media, and she was pregnant, and she was saying, I'm doing this for my baby, for the people that I am around every day that are immunocompromised. And she really believed it, and within 8 days, she had a miscarriage.
That's what's going to happen.
And she probably didn't even
differentiate.
Yeah, and she probably didn't even put it together that it was a vaccine, because there's a lot of these people. It's a religion for them. It's so far gone. They're so far gone. It's a religion to them. And I know what you mean. Like, yeah, you shouldn't. It's technically not a vaccine. I get it. But I don't know when I'm talking about this stuff. I just it's being marketed that way, and then I have to go into a whole spiel as to why it's not a vaccine, and if I need to get the point across. I mean, all vaccines, whatever you're injecting, just put it this way. Injecting questionable ingredients into your bodies is bad, whether it's a vaccine or whether it's not. And this Moderna is they're calling it like a smart vaccine, but basically it's rearranging your DNA, and they're supposed to be like, oh, it's smart. And it's like, no, it's turning you into a cyborg. Or whatever. Like, nothing's been done like this ever with the technology that they're using. Why would you want to be a guinea pig for that? But
I don't want to be a guinea pig. I don't want you to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to be a guinea pig for this. Lord help us. They need to stop with that. People need to do the martini experiments with their spouses or something.
That was
And,
smart. That was really smart. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, this, oh my gosh. Just this, I just can't believe people are just so afraid without opening their eyes, looking outside, and just like seeing people are not dropping dead. When it was like back in the the early 90s, I went to so many hospitals and watched my acquaintances die of AIDS. People were dying left and right of AIDS. And people are not dying left and right today. And it's just crazy, the short-term memories of some people, and then the abuse of the children in the last 20 years. It's just, I think...
Have you seen House of Numbers?
We need to make our voices...
Have you seen House of
Pardon me?
Numbers? Have you seen House of Numbers and the Emperor's
House of
New Groove?
Numbers?
Yeah, you should check out these 2 documentaries that would probably give you some more insight into that. It's kind of long. I don't want to go into it, but it's called House of Numbers and the Emperor's New Virus about AIDS and how they have the whole thing. It would give you some insight.
Okay. So House of Numbers, I'm going to write that down.
House of
and
Numbers.
I think that's going to be my last thing because I just looked at the clock and I realized I've been on your phone
I know.
for way
I let
too long.
people talk a long time. I know. I like it though, especially if you've never called before. You know, the new callers and stuff. So, anyway, thank you so much for calling. House of Numbers and the Emperor's New Virus.
In-person virus?
The Emperor. I can't say it. Emperor. I have trouble saying Emperor.
in-person.
Emperor. Like the Emperor's New Clothes, but the Emperor's New Virus.
Oh, Emperor New Virus. Okay,
Emperor's
I've
New
written
Virus.
that one down too.
Yeah. And it might pop
Thank
up
you
if
so much.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go
It
on.
might pop up if you put in House of Numbers. They might pop up next to each other anyway. So, yeah.
I will do that. I appreciate that. And it's been wonderful talking to you.
You too. Thanks for calling in.
All right, take care. God bless.
Bye-bye. You too. All right, guys. I'll take one more caller. 512-481-7464. 412-48. It was so cold, you guys. It's at the top of the. I was able to pin it to the top of the chat. Last time I wasn't able to pin it to the top. I don't know what was going on. 512-481-7464. What was I gonna say? Yeah, man. It's so cold. It was so cold in Texas here last night that some of the power lines like froze and broke because and then there were sections of the cities that was out without power. So, what about the nurse who supposedly died? I don't know about that. I don't know. The one that passed out, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, there was a lot of rumors, but no proof. Okay, yeah, I heard that. I didn't see. Mask and needle cold. I'm going to take that cerebral. That's really good. Mask and needles. Okay, so I got 10 minutes. 10 more minutes before I got us to get on with my life today. Does anybody else want to call? Anybody else want to call? You can talk to me in the chat for 10 more minutes. So it's so cold. Yeah, Texas shouldn't be this cold. I know. I mean, it's winter. It's winter. Thank God. I woke up this morning. I practice gratitude, the things I'm grateful for when I wake up, and I was grateful that I had power and that I had heat. So some people didn't have heat last night because so cold. It's cold here in Denver. Oh, yeah, that's right, Denver. That's my family. But yeah, well, it snows in Denver. Do you guys have heat though? Do you have at least heat, Cerebro? Because the thing that sucks about last night was some people were without power, so they didn't have heat. All right, last caller. I'm about to take this one. Good morning. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? Good. Is this Denise?
Yes.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
So,
Shakur wanted you to call in.
I waited a minute. I gave other people a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I love everybody that called in today. Totally awesome chat.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor yesterday. My civilian doctor, I have two. I get one from the VA. I'm a veteran, and I get one from the civilian. So I go in there, and he's like, "How you doing?" I said, "That's great. Changed my attitude. Instead of being overwhelmed with the clutter, I'm thankful for it and the memories, and I'm tossing it and all of this." And he's like, "So what are you doing?" I said, "I live in New York. Nothing. So going through my clutter. What am I going to do?" So he mentioned Q and QAnon.
Wait, the doctor?
And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not." Huh? The doctor did. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going there. I don't even follow those guys." And he's like, "Well, I'm worried about your mental health." I told him I got rid of my counselor. I was mentally hygiened last year with a bunch of veterans, okay? Because some veterans were killing themselves. I was sexually assaulted in the hospital, Strong Memorial. They're pushing it under the carpet as an accident. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I told the doc I got rid of all my mental health providers, and he said he was worried about my mental health. And I said, "You're worried about it. I'm worried about the control you guys have over us. You lock me up. You protect the predator. You've got a system set up where I was his third victim that weekend." And they told me. I said, "And you're worried about my mental health? I'm worried about my physical safety. I went through military sexual trauma. That's why I have PTSD." And so he's going to sit here and start telling me about this Q stuff and QAnon. And I'm like, "Why are you bringing this up?" Because already Vivo Fry in Canada and another place here in America, they're locking people away in these undisclosed locations because people might be infected. And you want to bring up Q and QAnon with me, and you're worried about my mental health? Are we going to start locking people up because they believe the election was stolen, or they believe in Q? Q is the real Secret Service of the Secret Service. People do not know that. All right? But anyway.
But so basically,
QAnon.
you think that they put it in their diagnostic criteria to diagnose anybody that believes in Q as having a mental disorder?
I'm telling you, why did he bring it up?
Yeah, he's like, "Do you believe in Q? Let me hear your thoughts about Q." So he's trying to, like, entrap you, basically.
Yeah, that I didn't want to go there. I was top 10 in the military. I'm electronics tech. Computer biz is my biz, okay? But let me tell you, when he started that, I thought, are you going to start entrapping people this way?
Yeah.
People that start believing in Q with a conspiracy theory, I've got to get the shirt. I really do. But anyway, that scared me to the point where I'm looking for a different. I'm dislocating or disassociating myself from that doctor.
Yeah, for sure. That's insane. That's insane. These people,
Yeah.
It's funny. You see these horror movies where they have, like, these psychiatrists that are, like, actually, like, the psychopaths, and you're like, that doesn't happen. Not only in real life, that only happens in the movies. And, like, oh shit, it's real. Like Nurse Ratched and one of
Exactly.
the Cuckoo's Nest. You know, like, oh, these people are really, they're really people like that. I don't know how long you've been listening, Denise, but I had a guy. I did a rant on Black Lives Matter, and it went viral. And then this guy contacted me, and he was like, "I'm from Africa." He goes, "You're totally right. Black people are brainwashed. I want to come on your show and talk about it." But he's like, "I don't want to show my face, though, because I'm in school. I'm going to, I'm getting my degree in psychology, and I have about 6 months, and I just don't want any drama." So I was like, cool. So I interviewed him. If you go through my interviews, it says, like, interview with Mr. T, not the actor. But basically, in confidence, he told one of his other colleagues that was also a psychology major that he was doing this interview. And she basically was like, "Well, I'm concerned about your mental health. I'm going to have to tell the teacher about this." It was like drama. So he asked me at the time if I would remove his interview, because now his colleague, who he thought was his friend, was threatening to bring up issues of his own mental health just because he's speaking out on Black Lives Matter. So he gave me permission to re-upload the video after he graduated. That's why it's up. But I ended up taking it down. You know?
I think that's when I started listening to you, was when I started learning how many African tribes had been annihilated because of Gates and the vaccine.
Okay.
And all the dangers of that, because I started listening to you when President Trump was running, back then.
Oh, and then
So
let me just, on the Q thing too, when we did the panel, nobody talked about Q on the panel at all, but then we got a Q tag from Wikipedia. So it's like they're trying to use Q to discredit. I'm like, we didn't even talk about it. And whoever made a complaint, I think they did it. They were able to get it removed. Whoever did that, if you're listening, I appreciate it. They finally removed it. When we first put it up, I'm just like, why do we even have a QAnon Wikipedia tag? We didn't even talk about QAnon. You know, so just how they're using the Q stuff to discredit people. I don't really talk about QAnon on the channel at all. Like, why is that even a thing?
Well, that's what I thought. I'm like, why did he even bring it up? I didn't bring it up. Yes, I was in Washington, D.C. on the 6th. Yes, I know that it was a setup. Yes, I know that it was all bull crap and what they did and where we were when the tear gas. We were way with President Trump when the tear gas started. And he was like, go to your hotel, and that's what we all did. We were all going back to our hotel, so all that stuff was a setup.
Yeah.
And I got blasted by other veterans when I got back. Your people did this. I said, my people? I said, the A person was there and the other group was there. It wasn't us, and they were letting people in because we were getting. It was amazing because we were getting play-by-play detail of what was happening at the time between what people were listening to and who was people. I had different people on my cell phone. They had theirs, and then all of a sudden everything got cut. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. And then it took us about 15 minutes before we could start getting loaded back up. And I knew they were playing with us, all right? But we went there to peacefully protest.
And
we
I
went
was
there to
so
let
mad.
our voices be known.
I was so mad too, and I wanted to meet some of you guys, and I met a few people. I was planning to spend longer there, and I just feel like they just ruined our day. They just took our day away from us, And I drove 2 days with my friend up there to meet and mingle and network with people, and they just fucking, Anyway.
I know I was trying to come up with you, but I'm like, you know what? This is too much chaos at this point, and this is what they wanted. This was a setup.
It was
this
crazy.
Was a total setup.
It was
and
crazy.
My father was military. I'm military. We've been fighting communism propaganda for a long time. This is nothing new. And people have no clue that it's here now. But everybody's been blue-pilled, and I told my doctor, I said, and when he said that, I said, you see this blue screen in front of you? That's your blue pill. You're going to believe whatever your blue pill tells you to believe. Mm-hmm. I said, and until you turn this off, you're going to believe all that information about Q that they've taught you.
Yeah.
You need to understand. It's like,
yeah.
And it hit me at that point what the blue pill was. Just the screen and what they want you to believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just.
How long do you think it's going to take? How long is you think it's going to take you to get another doctor?
I've got the VA. I'm not worried about it. I got a doctor wherever I go.
No, but I'm just saying another doctor, because that's just crazy that he's trying to entrap you like that. That's insane. And I wonder if they get any kickbacks for committing people or putting people away too. That's something you might want to look into. If they get any perks or anything for doing that. For finding somebody.
That's why I've broken the ties with the mental health. I got PTSD, I got this, I know what it is. But in my home, if I'm doing positive things and I've got, my Corona craft is my resin work. I'm doing mugs now, I'm doing keychains, I'm doing all kinds of resin stuff. So they cannot look at me and say that, number one, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm a danger to myself, or I'm a danger to other people.
You should start doing, Denise, too. You should start recording your sessions with the doctor secretly.
Before I finally leave. I should have.
I'm just saying, don't be yourself up now, but next, no matter who the doctor is, you trust them or not, just, these people are fucking psychopaths. You need to start protecting yourself. You need to start. You need to start recording yourself. You know, you have a cell phone. There's also an app that you can get that you can even, if you have to do something on like over the phone. There's an app you can get. You put like a little money on it, and you can record your conversations. And then when you're done with that, make a copy and get it on an external hard drive, so you have 2 copies.
Oh, okay. All right. I want to set up I went and bought my microphone and everything to start the YouTube stuff. You know what I mean? In my own channel or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I need help in having to set it up. I'm like, where do I go here? I build them. I don't run them.
Wait 1 second. Somebody says, wait, can't she get in trouble for that? Depending on the state, somebody would put it, they have single-party consent. Texas has single-party consent. Another reason I'm glad I moved to Texas. So you don't have to let the other party know. But no matter, you know what, you should just still do it anyway. And as long as you don't release it without their permission. But I think that, like, you know, if they're gonna lie on you and say that you said or did something that you didn't do, it's always good to have recording. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about if it's a single party state or not. I would just have the stuff recorded anyway. And then if you have to take it to court, then I would worry about that. It's always better to be safe than sorry. You know, just to get the recording, and then decide what you're going to do later, depending on what state you are, where you are, what comes of it. But just have it for your records, for your protection.
All right. You have to know, though, even in doing that, I'm an interpreter. One of the things I cannot do is email it to myself with FCC communications and all of that other stuff. If anybody is going to do this, they can keep that copy, have that hard copy, and then bring that to the court if they're ever going to have to use it. But the minute they email it, send it through the air or whatever, that's where some trouble can begin. So I will do that, and I will keep my own private copy.
Yeah, just keep it for yourself.
Because the fact that he brought it up, and the fact I'm sitting here talking about how my attitude had changed about my clutter instead of being overwhelmed. I'm going to be thankful for it. I was in a car accident. My life has changed. I'm no longer a professional interpreter anymore. I've got crafts and painting things, so I need to readjust, you know, so, and that's what I was explaining to him, and that's when he brings up the Q and the QAnon thing, and I'm like,
that's crazy.
Dude, I wasn't even talking about number 17 here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's insane. That's insane.
I'm talking about how I'm doing so much better, and now you're worried about my mental health.
No, we don't want you because
something.
Yeah, well, that's also a profession that depends on people being sick being mentally ill all the time. Because if you get better, then how are you going to keep coming back? You know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the medical industry is not interested in cures. They're interested in return patients. They're interested in return clients.
Yeah. Anyway, that's crazy.
I will do that, okay? And have you done anything, or is there any way, like I was Googling how to set up the YouTube vlogging and everything. So has anyone ever... I'd rather get it from someone that I trust, like you or whatever. This is how you do it. This is how you set it up.
I don't remember. I think I have, you know, just, let me see, YouTube. You just Google how to set up a YouTube account, how to set up a YouTube channel. You have to have an email, and you sign it with your email, and then once you set up your email, I think they send you like a confirmation, and then you confirm that. And then once that is, then you can set it up. You can put your emblem, you can put your picture, whatever you want. You can name your channel, and then you can start uploading videos. It's not that hard. I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, you know, yeah, it's not hard at all. And then you can also access it from your phone and upload if you make videos, like if you make recorded videos on your phone, you can like you know, upload from your phone straight to your YouTube channel too. So
that's cool, because a lot of my deaf people and my deaf blind clients, they want, and some of them have like macular degeneration, glaucoma, whatever, they can still see some. all of these videos are coming out, and I'm suggesting, oh, go to, Christine's great, go to Truth or Talk. But then they're like, I can't understand her. I can't lip read. I can't lip read on the little screen, so they need sign. So I wanted to go and start signing some of these videos. So do I need your express permission to sign one of your videos?
You can do it. Yeah, you can definitely do that. I don't care. You have it now.
Okay.
I tell people they have permission. I mean, give me at least, if I put if you're going to sign, you can put it up anytime, right? But if you have, if I release a video, at least give me a week to get it out there before you, send it somewhere else. But I don't really care. As long as you lead the people back to me, and say that that's my channel.
Yeah, I lead people to you all the time with your shirt. With your shirt. I'm at TrutherTalkCensored with Conspiracy Realist.
Yeah.
So if you don't get some bombing from that, man, I'm going to be mad.
And I think that YouTube, I mean, I don't know how accurate it is with my speech, but they have a setting now, too, where you can put CC and it can, have the dialogue in the bottom. But sometimes it's not accurate. Sometimes it's good. I mean, that's really what the algorithms are supposed to be for when they're testing us, when they're shadow banning us. But it also is supposed to be for closed caption and auto translate and all that stuff too. Right? So,
and it doesn't work because they're not, they'll say one thing and then totally get the word wrong, and it totally annihilates the point of the conversation.
Yeah.
One misinterpreted word from cow to cough. Okay,
yeah, I know.
President worships a cough. Do we worship coughs now? Did he say he's going to worship a cough? What happened,
Yeah.
And they've asked me so many questions about cough and worshiping cough that, no, it was cow. I don't know why they put cough. But by then we've missed the other half of the conversation.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do appreciate what you're doing. Thank you, and I pray for you and for y'all's protection when y'all do this stuff because, I don't want to one day go, how come I haven't heard from Christine in a minute? Where is she?
Well,
what induction did she go to?
If they take my channel down on YouTube, I'll be on BitChute or any of my other places. So I'll keep you guys in the loop. Or if I take a break, if I'm just I need a vacation, I'm not going to do any videos for a week or whatever, I'll let you guys know, I'll leave a message. Sorry, I'll leave a message somewhere.
Coming us off one-on-one and living alone, as an interpreter, I had service to go to and things to do, but now with everything closed, all right, and now that I'm not working, it's like being alone and in New York away from family, I'm understanding how other people that don't even have the technology, why they're getting so depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
But they advertise these depression pills, don't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, don't do those either because they make you more depressed and you can't find other ways. They'll make you more depressed and then you can't, it's hard to get off of those pills too. A side effect of those pills are, the suicide pills is suicide, which how is that, that's crazy,
Yeah. That's why I love music. I write music. I have my piano. I have my guitars. I have my banjo. I've got it. I got this. I got my friends. And I got my cat.
All right. Thanks, Denise, for calling in.
All right. God bless. Thank
too.
everybody for calling in and chatting today.
Yeah. Okay. You too. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Promos. And then I'm out. I'll be back on Wednesdays. I'll be back. All right, guys. Please support this channel. Of course, you can use my Cash App or PayPal, but I really, really would like, if there's anything you can do for me, I really would like just patrons, even if it's $5 a month. I just want I want a more steady form of income, that would really help. So instead of of donating $100, you can maybe donate $5 per month for a year or something like that, and that's $60 or whatever, however much you can afford. I'm also getting ready to relaunch my music, so I'm going to be raising money for my EP that I'm working on. This is Truther Talk. We are at TrutherTalk.com. Please sign up for our email list because if something happens, you can also support by buying this bumper sticker or these zines or the artwork or the Conspiracy Realist shirt at TrutherTalk.com. Follow us on Gab. How many people we got? 180, not so bad. Follow us on Gab. Follow us on BitChute, Brighteon, Steemit, DLive, listen to some of our amazing episodes that we did on SoundCloud. We have 109 episodes. Purchase a Conspiracy Realist 101 course. Join my music channel. And that's it. That was the news for today. So, all right, guys, I will be back on Wednesday. Please join us for Vaccine Sex Saturdays. I think for this Vaccine Sex Saturdays, I'm just going to upload the mini movie that I did. I want to just probably re-upload some of the things that I did in the past because people, I get, a lot of the stuff I did in the past gets buried and people don't know and they have new subscribers. So it would be good to just kind of rehash some of the old stuff if that's okay with some of you guys. I think you guys don't mind. So I'm going to be uploading that little mini movie I did on the truth about polio on Saturday. That's what I'm going to do. So I will see you guys next week for the live show on Wednesday at 10 a.m. and